Hello and welcome to the Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Keith Gillespie of the 47th District in York County. Today from Manchester Township with Blockhouse Furniture and with Steve Perko, the President of Blockhouse. Steve, thanks so much for letting us come in.
Keith, our pleasure.
Great to be here. Maybe you can give us a little history of Blockhouse, how long they've been in business and your involvement with the company.
Blockhouse has been around for quite a number of years. We were established in 1971. They were based out of Philadelphia, the prior owner. When I joined them in 1980, we moved from the Philadelphia area up to Red Line. And we took roots in Red Line from 1981 till about 1995. At that time, the owner, the original owner, had decided he was going to retire. And he was looking for owners, so myself and another fellow bought it in 1995 and realized that we were kind of tapped out for space in Red Line. Really landlocked, and searched around and found the building we're in here in Manchester Township. We moved up here in 1996 and been very happy with the space and the availability and operating nonstop since then.
And what is your square footage here at this facility?
We have two buildings on this property. I believe I'm not know exactly, but it's approximately 200,000 square feet in the building we're in now. And a building across the alley, which is our wood shop, is about another 40,000 square feet, so just slightly under 250,000 square feet.
What makes Blockhouse different from, say, your competitors?
Well, a little jaded, but we make very durable product. Our product is designed for high traffic areas. When people say, what do you do? I say, we make furniture. They say, have we ever heard of you? And I say, no, you haven't heard of us because we don't sell in the home furniture market. Our customers are college residence halls, military housing. We do more and more these days in healthcare, specifically behavioral health. So in facilities with drug and alcohol rehab and behavioral health being everything from mental health issues, disabilities and things of that nature. Very, very tough customers. So we tend to build something that we joke that you should be able to kick it down the steps and it should work just fine. And I think that's the core difference. We have some patents on some items and things like that make us a little different. But I think when you take the product aside, another thing that we're really, really strong at is customer relations. We take great pride in maintaining our relationships. We have many customers that have furniture that's 30 and 35 years old, still in use. We're still talking to, in some cases, the same people, in many cases, different people, but the same institutions. So we really pride ourselves on being the furniture experts, more so than we're not selling to a furniture store where they buy furniture every day. You know, when we're selling to York College, for example, one of our customers, they're buying furniture once a year. So for us, once a year, we should know what they're looking for. We should know the newest materials or the newest methods for getting a better product to them. They're worried about taking care of students, or other customers are worried about taking care of the clients that have the health issues. The last thing they need to be thinking about is furniture. So we really try to hold their hand through the whole process and make it so if a customer says, geez, we really like that product, we might say, that's not going to work in your environment. Your environment is going to eat that up, and it's just going to be a mistake, and a year from now you're going to be upset. So let's walk past that and really try to understand the customer. I think that's really our strength.
Okay, those are great strengths, and certainly customer service is a very important thing. What's Blockhouse's goals for the future? I mean, you've got several 100,000 square feet here, and you know, some of your products are lasting 35 years, as you so well noted. I mean, what are some of your goals? What are you looking for down the road, maybe 5 or 10 years?
That's an interesting question. I've been here 34 years, and I've seen kind of the ebb and flow of the economy. You see changes in markets. For Blockhouse, we're currently starting to gear our focus more towards healthcare clientele. Demographically, the baby boomers' kids have spiked through higher education. And higher education is still a fine market and it's still steady, but you've got to look at the number of students that are getting their diplomas and degrees online. My daughter just got a master's online, from Boston College. She never left York and managed to get that. So there's no housing requirement, there's no space needed for her, in a college application. So we're seeing kind of a flat spot in higher education. Healthcare, clearly, with 10,000 senior citizens turning 65 every day, that end of the market is booming, and I think we see that right here in WellSpan. You can't throw a rock and not run into a WellSpan building somewhere, and I think that's atypical of what's going on. So for us, we're kind of gearing our products more towards the healthcare community, the healthcare environment, which is a little different. In some cases, the product has to be very durable because it's 365 days a year, 24 hours a day use, all walks of life, all applications, and so we're trying to be diversified enough to go into that market and not so much specialized, but deal on a broader base. So from that perspective, we see ourselves going in that direction. The other thing we see is that we're focusing on design. You used to be able to make a product, and if it held up, people would buy it. Today, they want it to be pretty as well. So for us, it's a matter of making it pretty, and once it's pretty, the fact that it'll hold up and be pretty at the same time seems to be a direction that we think we have to go.
Well, sounds like you got all bases covered. Steve, I really appreciate your time here and allowing us to come in. We're going to go meet Greg Benton now, which is your plant manager, and he's going to take us on a tour to see how this stuff is made and some of the other great things you do here. So, again, thanks so much for letting us come in. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for doing what you do for the community with the jobs that you're offering and the economic stimulus.
Well, thank you. Thank you, too, and thank you for coming out, and thanks for what you do for our community, and I hope you enjoyed the plant tour.
Looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
Okay, we're here with Greg Benton, the plant manager at Blockhouse Contract Furniture. Greg, thanks so much for letting us come into your shop.
Oh, not a problem.
I understand you've been here about 19 years?
I have, yeah, 19 years in December.
Okay, you've seen a lot of lumber and so forth in your time, no doubt.
I did, yes.
Okay, now here in the, what I think you refer to as the mill, is the first start of the process for Blockhouse Contract Furniture.
That's correct.
And over here I see what looks like sheets, 4x8 sheets of raw stock. Maybe you can just run us through everything that happens here in the mill before we go over to the other building.
Sure. We use our case goods all get cut out of 4x8 red oak plywood. The plywood comes in over onto our conveyor, gets lifted up. We actually have an optimization program in our panel saw that tells us how to cut each sheet. We actually cut 6 sheets at a time. The operator will actually follow the diagram on the screen, turn it, have it cut, and once he completes the actual cutting, the skids get pulled over and get put on our edge bander. The edge bander is actually putting a thin veneer on the edges to kind of cover up the layers of the ply to give it more of a finished look. So just about everything that's exposed gets some type of edge banding put on it. The machine we got back here, most everything goes on the point-to-point. It's like a multi-head boring machine. It's CNC controlled. You can bore as many as 29 holes at one time. So you can, the computer program actually optimizes itself. We can adjust it if we think we can do it better, but you pretty much push the button and it'll just drop bits and put holes in the panel the way we have it on the drawing. We have Ganamats here, which are a glue, dowel, and bore machine. It'll actually bore a hole in the rails, insert glue, and actually insert the dowel. So it's all done mechanically. As well as we got a CNC router at the end. That's not so much for plywood. We do some nesting of plywood for our fully upholstered furniture, but it's basically equipped for all our hardwoods. It does all the routing, profiling, and it also does some boring.
Is the design done on site here? I mean, to load up these computers and the software, is that all done and written here on site?
It is. The actual panel saw, it actually gets put into a program and downloaded from our engineering department. Our lead person over here in the mill actually programs the point-to-points, and he actually programs the CNC router. So it's all in-house.
What kind of background or training do those individuals have? Are they engineers? Have they gone through a tech school, or what type of?
It varies.
Mixing a lot of different things.
Yeah, it really varies. I mean, a lot of it involves in being knowledgeable of the computers and understanding software, and So we could pretty much bring just about anybody in. They don't have to have totally a background, but having a background does help because they'll have to know tool spins, tool direction, make sure we're not going to get tear out, things like that. And our lead person actually offers that. He's been in the wood business for probably as long as I have, 20 plus years. So.
Now, how many, you mentioned upholstered furniture and shelving and stuff. How many different products or lines, well, everything gets originated here, but how many are there?
Oh my God. I would say probably, I mean, just guessing 50 to 70 different lines.
Okay.
We got different products we got going through.
And then will you're obviously not running all 50 to 70 at one time. You'll concentrate on, is that based on orders? Is that based on anticipated selling or what?
We actually do a forecast at the beginning, right about this time of the year. Every year we get a forecast from sales and we put that into our next year's, the following year's production planning. So most of the stuff that's in here, we try to get about 3 full cuttings worth sitting on the shelf because come June, July, August, and even May is our busiest time of the year. So by the time the orders really start coming in and the colleges want their product, we have it sitting on the shelf ready to go. All we have to do is assemble it and ship it. So it adds to quick turnaround.
Why are June, July, and August the busiest times? I mean, so you're gearing up for the fall semester, the colleges, and that's where a lot of your stuff is going, I assume.
Right. During this time, the June, July, and August, because the schools are out, so they don't have, they have some summer classes going on, but majority of the students are out, so the dorms are open. It gives the time for the college to go in and evaluate their furniture, pull it out, and we can come in and ship, put new in. Then when the students come in for the following semester, they got all their furniture put in.
Now we're in Manchester Township, and I believe you said some of your products will go as far as California, but you're predominantly up and down the East Coast.
East Coast towards the Midwest.
Okay. And will you ship from here? You have a carrier that'll take it to the various places, or does it go to a distribution center?
We actually ship from here. We have a blanket wrap carrier that we use pretty consistently. We have a backup if things get tight, but we use basically just one carrier for the majority of our shipping. But it all leaves from here and goes to the customer.
Okay. Is this an around-the-clock operation?
We're actually, right now, we're running one shift. We got one shift going through the entire plant. Back in 2003, we had 2 shifts going. We actually had a second shift here in the mill, but we've gotten more efficient, and unfortunately, we weren't as busy, so we were able to bring those people from third down to first and just keep things going on one shift.
Sure. Is it Monday through Friday, or do you go on the weekends too?
Mostly just Monday through Friday. We work a 4 9-hour day, Monday through Thursday, then we come in Fridays till 10:30, and all the employees get to go home at 10:30 and extend their weekend. Now, if we have any overtime to work, we try to squeeze it in that Friday afternoon.
Well, that's an interesting schedule. How many employees do you have here?
In manufacturing, we have about 45.
Okay. And how long has the plant been here?
We actually moved up from Red Line in 1996. Actually, it was July of 96 when we moved in. Yeah.
And I know we've been through a couple of buildings, and we're going to be going back to one. What is your total square footage?
Well, the total square footage in here is about 36,000 square feet. We got about usable footage. We leased out 30,000. We're using about 130,000 over in our other building.
Wow. And the reason for that much space, obviously you got raw materials here that you need to store and get ready, but is it for the finished product so that you can get boxed up and sent out, or what are you using a lot of that square footage for?
We use a lot of square footage just for warehousing of finished product. Like I said, not only do we have stock on the shelves to build for orders, but we try to build stock ahead of time to have it shipping, have it ready to ship for maybe a quick ship product that we have going out.
Great. One more thing before we go over to the cut and sew department. You mentioned about you manufacture a lot of things for behavioral health, and that needs to be manufactured a certain way.
Right.
anything you can special, because I know you said most of it gets bolted into the wall.
Yeah, most of the furniture going into behavior health does get fastened to the wall or fastened to the floor. They ask for specific designs. They don't want doors on the product because they want things open so they can actually see what the patients have in there. They have tops that are actually sloped so that you can't put things up and hide, weapons or anything of that sort up on the top of the shelf. So kind of makes it more visible for the staff to go through and inspect rooms.
Well, great. Okay, Greg, we're going to head on over to the cut and sew department and see what's happening over there.
Sounds good.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Greg, on our way to the cut and sew department, we took a little detour here in the engineering department.
Yes.
So what happens here with the engineering department?
Well, pretty much in the engineering department, we have several things going on. Once an order is acknowledged, all the paperwork comes back to the engineering department. If there's any custom work needs to be done, drawings, we get our engineers to do the drawings, figure out the customization of the product. Route sheets are generated up here. Our scheduler works up here. He actually schedules the order into our lead times and into all the different departments. So it's a pretty busy channel of Blockhouse up here.
Sure. Yeah, I'm obviously a key component. I would imagine some of the computer programming for the saws and so forth may start here, at least in concept or theory.
Yes, it does. Plus we have not only engineering, we have IT who basically keeps all our software, all our computers up to running.
Big job. So
Top-notch.
IT's up here with engineering
Yes,
as well?
it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So how many folks do we have working in the engineering department?
Oh, 6, I'm guessing.
Yeah, half a dozen or so that
Yeah.
I guess we got. I know somebody just came in the door, and we got Dave over here that's working on his at his little cubicle right now. Dave's one of your engineers.
He is, yes.
Okay. And Dave, maybe you can just come up here and join us for a second. See, you got some stuff up there on the computer screen. How long have you been with Blockhouse Contract Furniture?
I've been here about 2 years now.
Okay. And where did you go to school?
I was at the University of Bridgeport in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you a
And,
transplant to Pennsylvania, or are you?
I'm originally from Lancaster and then went to school in Connecticut and then moved back here after college.
Good.
And then just worked in various places in the industry around Lancaster and then found this job and been working here and happy ever since.
Great. And what is your role as an engineer with Blockhouse Contract Furniture?
Well, I do a lot of the drawings for custom furniture. Actually, I'm working on a custom chair right now. Customer requested a variation of one of the chairs that we do right now. They just wanted different ends on it, so I'm working on drawing those up.
Okay, so he'll give you like a concept or a theory, and then you'll put your engineering think hat on and come up
Right.
with things, and then go to him for approval, I guess?
This particular customer wanted a solid ends instead of the profile that we usually make out of, I guess, sticks. I have to go back and forth between different departments, like the mill and Greg sometimes, to figure out how we're going to make this custom piece of furniture and then get some customer approval as well to make sure that what we're making is what they had in mind.
Well, both Greg and Dave, you guys impress me as can-do kind of guys. So if a customer comes in and says, I want this, and you're saying you're going back and forth, you're going to figure out a way to do it.
Absolutely. Our new slogan is, if you can dream it, we can build it. So
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I appreciate your time. And Greg, I guess we're going to go on to the cut and sew department finally, and
We'll get you there this time.
and see what's happening.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, Greg, we finally made it to the cut and sew department.
Yes, we did.
And what goes on here?
Well, basically it's self-explanatory. It's cut and sew. We actually get all our fabric in. It's received in the purchasing, brought up here. As they read off on their schedule, they try to keep like things going at the same time. Fabric gets put on our spreader, which Penny was just operating. She'll actually lay out the fabric. The fabric actually gets transported down to our CNC cutter. At that point, Chris will actually pull up the program and pretty much download it, and the cutter will start on its own.
That's all automated.
It's all
programmed
automated.
by your IT folks and Chris and Penny. Go ahead and get it into pieces, and then Looks like we have another component here where there's actually a basic sewing machine.
Yeah,
taking
now we go
place.
back to the basics. It's been around for a long, long time. As you can see, there's numbers on the fabric. Everything's labeled for the job number, the type of fabric it is, and what it's getting made into. And they stage it on these racks by date, and it just work just gets distributed to the few sewers we have, and they pretty much keep us going all year long. You know, we actually have 3 full-time sewers.
Okay. Obviously, when you're looking to hire somebody, sewing experience is something. I mean, is there a school or something they can go to, or
I
are
wish
they being
there
taught
was.
here? Or?
Chris does a lot of training up here, but they have to have the basic skills of running a sewing machine. It's not like running a home machine where you have lighter fabrics. We deal with a lot heavier stuff. The machines are all industrial. They're a lot faster and harder to handle. So they got to have some knowledge with sewing, and then Chris will actually take them. If they have enough knowledge that she can train them, she'll actually take them and train them into doing our product.
Okay. You know, a lot of the stuff that you make will go to local colleges,
Yep.
dorm rooms, lounges, etc.
Correct.
So this really, a lot of what's going out here is the upholstery for that kind of furniture.
That's right. Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to move on to the finish and receiving. So we'll go down and check that out.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, Greg, we're at the finish and assembly division here at Blockhouse Contract Furniture. And I understand you have quite a bit of capital investment in this machine, where literally a product is going in raw after it's been processed in the other part of the plant, and then coming out with a coating on it and being ready to be assembled at the other end. So
That's correct.
maybe we can start here at the beginning of this machine and you can explain what's going on.
Sure. This machine is called our UV roll coater. It actually puts on a finish on all our flat surfaces of our product that goes through here. All our case goods, anything that's flat, this thing will actually coat. We put this in 1999. We made about $1 million investment with everything on it. And what it does, it takes the product from raw to a finished state in about 2 minutes 45 seconds. This machine's 94 feet long, and everything starts right here. This is basically our sander. So it's taking the piece, sanding it, and there's actually 55 fingers in there, 1-inch fingers, 1-inch square fingers, that actually just float and actually read the panel for highs and lows, because plywood isn't very consistent. So it actually reads it so it doesn't burn through the surface.
Okay.
So once it gets sanded, it comes out and runs through a roll coater. And this roll coater actually here is called our filling machine. It's actually a thick viscosity material that actually takes and pushes material into the grain of the wood, so
Wow.
it doesn't give that rough texture.
Is it like a polyurethane or what is it?
It's actually, it's not really a polyurethane. It's
protective coating of some sort?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So it gets goes through here, grain gets filled, it goes through a UV light. Now this light, there's only one lamp in there. It semi-cures the filler, so it just makes it to a tacky surface, and then it goes through the sealing process.
So that's yet another machine that it
got
goes
another
through.
machine.
Okay.
It goes down, it rolls on to the sealer, which actually seals all the grain so you don't get little hairy fibers coming up, so it basically seals the product. And again, it goes through another set of lamps. 2 sets of lamps here, comes out, it's fully cured.
Any idea what the temperature is of those lamps?
Hot.
It's real hot.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably over 600 and some degrees.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it comes out of the second set of lamps, and now it's going into a...
Now it's going through a sealer sander. It's we sand it at 400 grit. We have a 400 grit sanding belt in there. Works the same way as the other sander. It has all the fingers in it. But it basically, all it's doing is taking what fibers that raised up and just flatten them out, sanding them off.
Certainly, I mean, we certainly don't want any splinters or other imperfections with our college students or behavioral health
Right.
patients or what it may be. All right, how about what's happening here?
Okay, this is the final step. It's our top coat. It's wet on wet. We actually run it through two roll coaters of top coat, put a wet coat on and a lighter wet coat on here. And again, it goes through a set of lamps. There's 3 lamps at this point. Comes out and it's fully cured. It can actually be stacked, very scratch resistant, very hard surface.
Okay. So when we get to the end here, we got a gentleman that looks like he's stacking it on a pallet.
Right.
And this stuff's dry to the touch, ready to go.
It is.
Okay, so from here then it'll go someplace and be put together?
Oftentimes sometimes it'll go over here in our drawer box area, get put in the drawer box. These pieces right here are drawer box material. It can be built into boxes. If we're ahead of schedule, which normally we are, it will just go into the racks and ready for the next
to be distributed.
Job. That's right.
Okay. Any of the upholstered stuff we saw upstairs, that's pretty much separate from what's going on here.
Right. Yeah, this department pretty much supplies all the lounge seating and everything else for the upholstered goods.
Okay.
So they'll, in their assembly department, they'll build the furniture, put it on the carts, run it through a conventional tow line, and we actually do the actual spraying by hand.
Okay. And your job as plant manager, I guess you're subject to being anywhere in the facility at any given point in time, depending on what may be going on.
Pretty much. I like to be roaming around, seeing what, I'm not call myself a micromanager or anything like that, but I like to make sure I know what's going on in case I get questioned, hey, where's this product, where's that at? I'm able to answer it and, resolve any issues that might turn up.
You're the go-to guy.
Most times, yes.
Okay. Well, Greg, I want to thank you once again for allowing us to come in. We're coming to the end of our show here. Again, thanks to you, all the employees that let us intrude on their workspace and get to see the inside here at Blockhouse Contract Furniture. It's really been a wonderful experience.
Okay, I'll speak for everybody. It was our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Great to be here. As we end today's show, I thought it would be appropriate to show you one of the finished products that's made here at Blockhouse Custom Furniture in Manchester Township, York County. This is one of the chairs that would be used perhaps in a college dormitory. As you can see, it's a very finely crafted product, and the folks here at the company have every reason to be proud of the furniture and other things that they're sending out the door. With that, that's all the time we have for today's show. I am State Representative Keith Gillespie of the 47th District in York County. If you have any questions about today's program, contact information will be on the screen in just a moment. Thanks so much for joining us for Legislative Report. We'll see you next time.